Thank you very much, Mrs. Williams, members of the school board, and members of the selection committee. I am really honored and humbled to receive this award, but I'm most grateful to my brother Mike for nominating me. I don't know how many of you in the room have younger siblings, but I did not grow up hearing mine singing my praises. So the fact that he thought highly enough of me to nominate me for this award and thought that I was worthy really, really means a lot to me. It's hard to believe it's been 20 years since I sat in the seats that you're now sitting in. I don't really think of myself as old, but the North Hills High School that I saw on my tour today was worlds apart from the one that I attended 20 years ago. When I went here, typing classes were taught on typewriters, and now you have 3D printers in your labs. Teachers had to worry about students bringing in pagers, not cell phones, to class, and my entire family shared one email address. But one thing hasn't changed in the last 20 years since I sat in these seats and dreamed about my future. The teachers, administrators, and school board remain committed to helping North Hill students make those dreams a reality. And as an alumna of this school, I share that commitment. So I thought I'd use some time today to speak to the current students and offer some advice on things that I've learned over the past 20 years since leaving here. And as a former government official, I'm going to speak in bullet points, so I'm going to give you 4 pieces of advice. You can count them down as we go through. So first, always be open to new and interesting experiences and try to learn as much as you can about all of the options available to you. When I was a North Hills student, I thought I wanted to be a social studies teacher. In college, I thought I wanted to be a professor of women's history. I never imagined that I would be writing papers as an intelligence analyst that would go to the President of the United States, or that I would travel to countries like Sri Lanka and Bangladesh to advocate for women and girls. I honestly didn't even know that those were jobs. But the opportunities presented themselves at various points in my life. I learned more about them, and ultimately I got over my fears about taking them. Which brings me to my second point. Don't let fear be an obstacle to your success. Some of the scariest choices that I made have turned out to be the best ones. When I was offered the job at the White House, I was terrified. I already had a job that I liked with people I liked, and I had worked my way up to a window cube. You probably have not worked in offices, so you don't know how big of a deal that is, but having any kind of real estate near a window is a big deal, especially in a government building. And at the White House, it's notoriously a cutthroat environment where people work really long hours and don't necessarily have each other's backs. But I took the job, and the 2 years that I spent there turned out to be some of the best of my career. The hours were really, really long, but my colleagues were amazing. And there is probably no building on earth where young people can make more of a difference than at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Of course, fear isn't the only thing that can stand in your way, and some of you might be thinking that certain experiences or careers are just out of your reach, which brings me to my third point. Don't let money be an obstacle. This might sound like something that only rich people say, but I grew up in a solidly middle-class home about 3 blocks from here in Laurel Gardens. Some of the most rewarding experiences of my life required money that I just didn't have. In college, I learned of an opportunity to study abroad in Morocco. This was a trip that was going to cost thousands of dollars, and I had $28 in my bank account. Fortunately, thanks to the credits that I had earned from my AP classes here at North Hills and some advice from my advisors at the University of Dayton, I was able to apply those credits, graduate early, and then take the leftover scholarship money that would have been used for my last semester in college and apply it to a study abroad program. And that trip kicked off what would become a lifetime of studying and learning about the Middle East. You all are the best and brightest students that North Hills has to offer. You wouldn't be here at this awards ceremony if you weren't. It might take creativity and extra hard work, but if you want to do something and can't afford it, try to identify opportunities for funding. They almost always exist. And don't be afraid to ask someone for help. Which brings me to my fourth and final point. Always surround yourself with people who want the best for you and will make you the best version of yourself. Successful people rarely get there on their own. I was lucky to have been born into a wonderful family, and I wouldn't be receiving this award today without a lifetime of their support. At every stage of my life, I've developed a strong network of mentors and friends that could provide advice or even just cheerlead when I needed it. But I met some of the most important people in my life right here at North Hills. We shared classes, we bonded at band camp, and since graduation, we've gone off in so many different directions: city planning, local politics, engineering, but the bond we formed here remains strong. And of course, I can't reflect on my time at North Hills without thinking of the most important way that it changed my life. It was here in 9th grade homeroom that I met my husband, Joel. I've chosen a career that involves international travel, long hours, and uncertain job security. But he supported me every step of the way and always pushed me to do what was best for me, even if it wasn't necessarily what was best for him. Now, I know you're all way too young to be thinking about who you're going to spend the rest of your lives with, but when you get there, and especially young women when you get there, try to find somebody who will always support you in that way and always push you to do what's best for you. And maybe that person might be in your homeroom. So with that, I'm going to close by once again thanking all of the members of the school district for providing this award, but most importantly, thanking everyone whose love and support has helped me succeed as a student here and in the 20 years since. Thank you all.